And we continue learning Dirshu Mishna Berurah. We are in the middle of Hilchos Nefilas Apayim, learning the halachos of a Tachanun. Siman Kuf Lamed Aleph. We are up to Sif Beis. Apologies that there was some mislabeling on the shiurim, but Baruch Hashem, I think everything has been fixed. And we begin Sif Beis. The Mechaber teaches us Nefilas Apayim b'Yushav. You should duchen. I keep on saying duchen. You should say Tachanun sitting, v'loy me'umar, and not standing. Says Ramah Yeshar. There's some that say you only say Tachlin if there's an Arnav with Sefer Torah. There's no Arnav in Sefer Torah. You say it, but you don't fall on your hand. And that is the minhag. Says the Ramah says if you're in the chatzor which is opened up into the shul, or you're saying Tachlin when the tzibur is, Bebeisai, Oimer Tchina, Benefilas Abhayim. Or even a Yachin in his house could say Benefilas Abhayim. So says the Mishnah Berurah over here, Sif Katan Yod, explaining, starting with the fact that Nefilas Abhayim should be Miyushav sitting Kasa Beis. What is the reason you should say? Sha'atamu al derech Kabbalah, it's a Kabbalistic reason, Rivash Kasav, She'ink Peta. No, standing you're sitting. Kasra, Achreni B'Shazat Chak, Nuchalisvach al Rivash, Kisemech on the Rivash. Therefore, you finish your Shemona Esrei, and you have to wait in order to walk for Amos the amount of time. And before the amount of time that you waited, they began saying Tachlon. You should stand in your place, and you should fall in your hand, standing together with the tzibur. Similarly, if someone is in front of you, and therefore you cannot walk, as we've learned, you're not allowed to sit down in front of someone saying Shon Esrei, even very far away from him, and you can't go to the sides. So any scenario that you can't sit down, we're learning that you would say Ta'achnon standing. Continues the Mishnah Berurah of Katan Yud Aleph. Arayin v'sever Torah v'teichei. Arayin lav davka. We're going to see the Dirshu about this, but the Mishnah Berurah says Arayin lav davka. Alua din sefer Torah l'chodai. A sefer Torah is enough. Atami yishayim. Mishad nematzinu bekra remesh and afila hi lefnei Aron Hashem. We found a remez that the nefila, the tachlin, is front of the aroin. Unless you don't have a sefer Torah, but there are other svarim in the room. You shouldn't say tachlin on your face. Again, you say tachlin, you just don't fall on your arm. There are those that argue. In an area of the Sefer Torah, even a yachid in his house. Now, just to go back, what is the psak halacha with having svarim there? So Mishnah Berurah quoted the Das El Yarabah Derechayim Natu, and he said Yesh Cholkim, he left it open-ended. So we're going to have to see the Dirshu in a moment. Kisi panim sefkatin yebeis. Who nefilas abayim shalom? That's what we do. V'chaz beis kenes b'suach. Haynu tbeishes bal b'chatzir. Have pesach beis kenes b'suach. V'nuchaliros meis san makom ha'aroin. It's open up like many shuls. You have the main sanctuary. You have a side a little bit off of the shul, so you're not in the room, but you're off. But you can see through the door. Have a k'misal if they are, and that's considered like in the room of the aron. Masha ein k'misal b'chatzir b'stadim acherim. Your mom is davening in the chatzir on the side. Because Shabbos beis kenes is b'mayir. You don't fall into your hand. No, let's say that door was closed. Even if you're davening opposite, so you're in Nashim, you're in any area that you could see the Aroin even through the windows. Mishnah Berurah is adding on a Chiddush, certainly through a door. You say Tachlan. If you're in a side room in which there's no Arain and you can't see into the main room, then you would not say Tachlin, you would not fall on your arm. Still, he's allowed to fall on his face, meaning on his arm. Excuse me. You've seen over there, it's only in a case where there's nothing separating, but if there's tinaf, there's something disgusting, which would thereby negate all of our houses nowadays, therefore it's not considered to be connected to the shul. While you're allowed to say it together with the tzibur. So we're going to do Sif Gimel, and then we'll see the Dirshu. Says the Mechaber, we do not say Tachlon at night. The Kehanim in the night of their watch would yes. Because that is Karev, that is close to the day. So says the Mishnah Berurah Sivkatan Tazayin. What's the reason again? You're allowed to say the mizmar, but you just don't fall on your face. I shouldn't say that. Okay, over here it's Balayla. Let's see the next Mishnah Berurah. So we've got to need Zayin. Which sometimes happens, definitely, especially if you start late. There's no tachlon. You could skip Avinu Malkeinu so that you get to Tachlon while it's still daytime. Shukar of the Yom Sivkati Nirchas Tashmeiris. Well, Yerabi Evi Lakom Echasais Alon says El Yerabah. There's no Tachlon from Chatzais Chemash Magin Avram. Fascinating. La Yom Sivkati Nirchas Yish Nagin Laharich Mastichas Anochain and the Chain Ayom Bazipul Avdein. Then they do Tachlon. You don't do Tachlon on Erev Rosh Hashanah. So we continue over here with some very critical Dirshus. Says the Dirshu, we begin with note number 13. The Rechaim Kanievsky explains regarding saying Tachlon standing up that it's mistaver. The Mishmur does not mean that you should not sit, but rather, you don't have to go back. Rather, you stay right where you are. This is the Yesharim as we've seen previously. Now, we said, Aron Lav Davka Din Sifrei Teira Lechot. But let's say, number 115 in Dirshu. Let's say there is an Aron, but there's no Sefer Teira, the reverse case. So in this case, what's the reason, excuse me? The reason is because they put the Sefer Torah in the Aron in the side. Sabi says Makom Shamar Yaiser. So in that case says Ramesha Feinstein, you yes, Duchen, you yes in the fields of Abayim. Why? Because there is a Sefer Torah there, it's just not in the room right now. Why not? Because the safe in the Kaisel, for example, and all the Arons throughout the Kaisel, there's no Sefer Torah in there always. The Sefer Torah is stored in the back inside the safe. Kamais Sharak, let's say on Monday and Thursday, similar to what we're talking about, they bring out the Sefer Torah, but not on Monday and Thursday, the Sefer Torah are somewhere else. Says Hashem, Zalman, you still could be Mekel, even when there's no Sefer Torah inside. Now finally, perhaps the biggest Chiddush, let's say you're building a shul, and you didn't have the Sefer Torah there yet, but it's a shul. Says Hashem, Zalman, Mistaver, In Lahakir, Zrichon Leimar, Tachlan. Now it's not clear over here. Sounds like it's not clear if there's an Aron Kodesh. That's the detail. It's not clear in this note in Rosh Zalman. We have to look it up in Siach Halacha. Meaning, is the Nekuda because it's an Aron similar to the previous Nekudas over here, or is the Nekuda that it is a proper shul? Says the Kaczynski again in the Luach and Eretz Yisrael, note number 16. Minig Yushalayim. Lipol nefilas abayim afil b'makom she'in sefer Torah. In Eretz Yisrael, Yerushalayim, they always do nefilas abayim. Why? Because it's called Lifnei Hashem. Beautiful. The whole reason why you need the Aron, because that makes Lifnei Hashem. The meaning Yerushalayim is you're living Lifnei Hashem. So even without a sefer Torah, you fall on your face. Similarly, Ramesha Feinstein says the same. Says Ramesha has nothing to do. It's not considered changing your minhag. If you're in Yerushalayim, you should do like the Yerushalmis and say Tachlan even without a Sefer Torah. Now, because of the reason of Kedushas, Yerushalayim, says Rosh Zalman, This is only bein ha'choimos ha'mukdashos b'Kedushalayim. This is only the Ir Atikaz we call the old city, but not throughout the whole Yerushalayim. But says Dirshu Mishna, the entirety of Yerushalayim, even not between the walls, they do this din. Meaning, if the din was cause of Kedusha, the real Kedusha of Yerushalayim is only the Ir Atika between the walls in the old city. But says Dirshu Mishna, the minog to say Tachlon while you're Lifnei Hashem, as Yerushalayim's go Lifnei Hashem, is in the entirety of Yerushalayim. But in a tshuva, he adds on the medaktikin outside the walls do not fall on their face. I don't know what the minog is. So the Maisa, the stapler was knowing like this. In his stapler's Svarim room, he did not have a Sefer Torah. He had Svarim, so he fell Tachlon. Similarly, Rav Nissi Karelitz, and he had it on Dafka in a place where Sefarim are always there. Sefarim are always there of a din of a Sefer Torah. Place that you're machanchen children for Tfilas Habayim, says Rav Moshe. Now, just giving an interesting example would be, let's say, an office building that has Sfarim. So if it's just an office building, they don't mincha every day, okay, you'll not need Tfilas Habayim. But if you have an office building that they have shirim in that room and they have Sfarim in that room, so even if there would be no Sefer Torah, it would seem that the stapler himself would say those Sfarim are kavua. That would be enough to allow being neifel al peneihem. And we continue to note number 18 that we said that for the women's section you could fall tachnan. Why? Because you can see through the windows that Torah has on. Even if there's a vilon, even if there is a curtain, still it's considered that you could see through. And with that, we're going to conclude. One more dirshu over here, number 20 about being hashemashais. The Minhag Yerushalayim says over Yashiv that they do not do Nefilas Habayim after Shkia. Says Dirshu Mishna, because the Chashash of the Mikubalim, this sakana from Shkia and on. And the truth is, I think many places, even here in America, once it hits Shkia, is not going to say Tachlon. Is not going to say Tachlon after Shkia, even though it's only been a Shemashas a few minutes after. But that's the way it is. We'll pick it up from Sif Dalit in the next year. B'siyata Dishmai.